All right, we're rolling.
All right, we're back with Shane Farmer. Shane, tell us a little bit about your athletic background.
Let's see.
Invictus,
Started.
right?
Yeah. I'm out of Invictus now. I've competed with Invictus for the past 4 years. This will be the start of my 5th season. Starting in high school, I've played pretty much every sport. I was an alpine skier in high school, so I was a slalom racer and played football, baseball, and switched to track my sophomore year because I was really slow, and I knew I needed to get faster. So I switched to hurdles, actually, 110. So I switched track, and then when I got to college, I played 2 years of club baseball, and then transferred to the University of San Diego, where I found rowing and just fell in love with the sport. And 4 amazing years of rowing there. Stefan Roche was our strength training coach, so I found CrossFit while I was there. Came out of college and started CrossFit.
Okay. And so when did you join the inov-8 team?
I joined the inov-8 team in 2012. Yes. So I'm going into this will be my second. Yeah, this will be my second season on the team.
And what drew you to inov-8? Were you using the product already, or did they recruit you?
Both. I've been wearing inov-8 since I started this year. They were the first shoe. I think I was wearing Nike 3s when I first started,
Wow.
and very quickly found inov-8 in 2010.
Like the squishy.
Yeah, I got rid of those very quickly, and I went to inov-8, and I just never went back. I had a season where I tried Reebok, and as soon as I had the chance to come back to inov-8, I realized how much I love the product, and so it's more of it's a connection to this team because I love the product and I love what this team do, and that's really important to me, something that I actually support.
What does it mean to be an inov-8 sponsored athlete? How do you work with them? Is it product development? Do they support your events? What's it mean to be sponsored athlete team?
Everything. I mean, really, and we've been talking a lot with this weekend about committed athletes and what it means to be an athlete with this team. It's not so much about just being a figure that they just bring in. Being a part of this team is to believe in the company and believe in what they're supplying to us, which is support. So they just want to make sure that we're doing the best that we can be, and that they're putting their full weight in things. And that's really important to me. That I work with the company that actually supports me as an athlete and as a person, and is not just a name on my sign next to it.
And then, are you going to train for the games again this year for the Invictus team?
That's the intent right now. I've had a rough couple of off seasons. Last year's off season, I blew out my back basically right after the games. So that was pretty unfortunate. I was almost incapacitated for most of the off season.
How'd you do that?
Chiropractor that was just not doing the right stuff, and I was lifting heavy at the same time, and he was putting me into really poor positions, so my body just wasn't moving the way it should. He was trying to fit me into the mold of what the body was supposed to be instead of mine. And so it was horrible. I mean, it was just couldn't move in bed without wincing in pain. And my first workout back was the week before the Open started, in 2013. And so I was very, very cautious going through the Open, but I kind of used that as my opportunity to build back into feeling like an athlete again. And I was just really blessed to be able to get back into it in between. I did decently, I think top 7 or 5 still. But after that, I spent the time in between Open regionals really getting back up to full speed. And it was close. There was another guy, a fantastic athlete out of Invictus, Santino Marini, who I was competing with basically for that kind of 3rd spot on the team. And he's just an insane athlete, and so to be able to have him driving me was really helpful. I got back into it for regionals, and again, I was blessed that my body held up, and I was able to go to games last year. This off season, my back's been touch and go, so I've learned to really listen.
So is that your focus in your training going forward towards the games and the Open regionals this year?
Yeah, my focus into perpetuity is listening to my body. It's been a really hard learned lesson that I need to think about my body for the rest of my life. competing is wonderful.
The young invincibles. So
Yeah, exactly. You know,
you're moving up in age.
I still feel young at 28, but you know, these lessons come hard, and I just realized how much power there is to having a healthy body for the rest of your life, and that really has been important to me. And part of that has been also finding balance in my life. You know, my training, my work, my relationships, all that has been extremely important in the past couple of years. And again, hard-learned lessons, but I have a very positive path.
How many games did you play?
4.
So what was your mental approach in the first games? And how did it evolve over the years? Because a lot of athletes say, first time I go there, I'm like, whoa, this is overwhelming.
Yeah, and it was. And in 2010 was incredibly overwhelming. And it just, all the cards fell in my favor to make it to the games. I went to regionals. We had sectionals in the open. And I qualified to go to regionals, went to regionals as an individual. And guys, it was heavy. You know, I had zero strength. And I was a rower. I came into the sport at 6'3" and 170 pounds. So I had zero press strength overhead. And
Shane's not a beanpole.
And it was just brutal. I got wrecked trying to put 185 pounds overhead. I mean, I had to split dirt every single one of 20 reps. So it was total eye-opening, you know, and we went into it wanting to just destroy it. And the same for 2011. And in 2011, we had our worst finish. And we realized as a team that it was because we were putting so much pressure on wanting to succeed as opposed to enjoying the experience. And you see it in the rankings. You know, 2011, I think we were 15th. We came back the next year to 5th. And, we took 5th in 2010. But it was just a huge learning experience. So at this point now, I make sure that we go into competition and get out here in competition. I have to be really loving what I do, and that's really true. And loving what we're doing. You know, if you get so obsessed with competition, you really lose the experience. Because life is all about experiences. It's not about the finish.
That was deep. That was a deep line.
Yes.
In a way. We're not done yet. I feel like, I don't know if I could top that. So now that we're talking about, a lot of times the growth of the sport, right, and so much focus on the elites and the games athletes, what about the everyday athlete, the everyday CrossFit? As the growth, as the sport expansion, so many newbies come into the sport, new to the sport, they have a big athletic background. What's your advice to them and to their coaches?
Well,
you probably coach a lot of people.
Yeah, I spent. Yeah, up until September, I was coaching full time at Invictus, and have been. Well, that was where I started my coaching career, and I learned a ton from CJ and from all the coaches I was around. And so, I really look at my whole CrossFit experience as just right place, right time, all the way through. And the amazing coaches at Invictus, Nicole DeHart, Cody Bergner. I've been able to be around 2 Bergners, Cody Bergner and Sage Bergner, as well as a coach coming down frequently to learn from him. And through it all, I've been able to work with athletes across the board. And one of my favorite groups of clients to work with are weight management clients that come in. And so having worked with that everyday CrossFitter, or even somebody who is really going to have a tough time getting into it just to start. I think what's important is for people to not say, I'm going to be a CrossFitter just jumping right in. I think it's making sure that you set the base for how to build yourself into becoming the person you want to be. And that's really critical. I think that a lot of coaches can do a wonderful job of facilitating that for their clients. Helping to them to understand that there's this incredible future that awaits them and that they can be whoever they want to be. But that to get there, there's a lot of, sometimes it's unlearning, sometimes it's getting that self-esteem back, sometimes it's, just having somebody to walk you through the process and make it the right process for you, because there's no cookie-cutter route for anybody.
Any difference in coaching men and women? Because some of the things you talked about, rebuilding that self-esteem or taking a different approach. Any difference in how you coach the two of them? Because a lot of the new CrossFitters come in, women are huge influx.
Yeah, and I think it's not so much are there differences between men and women, but I think it's really emphasizing the difference between every person. It's hard to even just lump men and women together, because when you really sit down and you have that first conversation with your client, you understand that there is so much baggage that comes from the rest of their life that, you know, they're. I'm not going to put all the women together and say that they carry the same baggage because they just don't. So really, it's that every single person has a totally different path to take, and I think taking the time to really listen to and talk to every single client, well, it is time consuming, really, because that's what's so incredible as a coach is to create that life change for somebody, and knowing that you heard what they were telling you and that you helped to facilitate where they wanted to go, not where you wanted to be. Incredible. Incredible. And, you know, also what's important to remember is that they're the ones that do it. You know, you're along for the ride and trying to give them help along the way. But the great part is being able to tell somebody, you got yourself here. It wasn't me. You know, I just tried to help as much as I could. But you were the one that made the commitment to yourself to get yourself to be here.
Hashtag Farmer Tabata. So last question. The zombie apocalypse is coming tomorrow. What's your last meal on Earth?
Yeah. It's going to end with a pint of Ben & Jerry's, I can tell you that.
Wow, ice cream, okay.
Oh yeah, I love ice cream.
You're
So,
giving up and you're saying the zombies are going to catch you.
yeah, so that's the end of it. Let's see. Wow, that's a hard question.
Better start thinking. I see him over there.
I know. Man, okay, so zombie apocalypse is coming. I don't want anything too heavy, it's going to bog me down.
Okay.
A
A pint of Ben & Jerry's is really light.
Yeah, totally, yeah, really. Think of it as just, you know,
What
nutrition. Anything with cookie dough is pretty good.
Cookie dough.
Anything with cookie dough is pretty good. I can't complain about that.
Any savory or going all sweet?
You know, I am going to have a good meal beforehand. You know what? I'm just going to say a nice, juicy, little marbled steak at a time. Yeah, with maybe a side of roasted.
Roasted ale. Wow. You're going healthy in your lesson. Shane, that was a great answer. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it.